Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for listening to the podcast. I'm going to start to put the link for those who want to listen it on iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, and everywhere else podcast is heard. But is graduation season, and I have to do this one for the graduates because I got this question about what do we tell our teenagers about their prospect for the future when all these things happening with colleges and how the world is shifting with technology. Had to do this one, and I wanted to upload it now so you can listen in. And I know some of the parents will be upset because we're still stuck in the old way, but it's not my duty to always be politically correct, or all my ways my duty to be liked and agreed with. Is just to bring you the information, bring you the facts, and then you make your own judgment and assessment. So let's listen into this podcast. Thank you guys. Hey guys, welcome to the Academy Answers podcast, where we discuss the questions on personal development, on personal finance, on success, on personal responsibility that we get from our blog. Everything in the personal development space, everything in the space of becoming a better you, everything in the space of doing something meaningful with your life, finding a way to create something from a seed that God has given every one of us, your creator. I don't know who is your God. I'm in no position to qualify that for you, but we all were created with something special. We all have those abilities. And I'm very excited to bring you this episode because of the topic of youth and business and how the economy is going today. I'm always fascinated with business and with money and how people create incomes and how people earn income, how people build wealth. And this question is about what do we tell the kids these days? There's so much mixed information out there. There's so much things happening with retirement. There's so much things happening in the workforce. There's so much people giving college a bash. So much people saying that they are not getting the jobs they used to get, and the job market has changed. And these are real concerns because, when our entire country, when an entire world has been built on a certain way of life, it is not easy to en masse change thinking, because human beings are creatures of habits. Human beings are creatures of habits. We are stuck in our ways, and we like to maintain a certain way or a certain idea that we're used to, that used to work. And we've seen so many upset in business space, and so many things have changed in terms of education and in terms of how the work world operates and how economies operate. We look at people becoming billionaires on Instagram with products that they haven't touched. We look at big boxes, big box stores, huge retailers, huge corporations going out of business because of changes and movements in technology. So everything that we used to, everything that were norms have changed, and the whole business space has changed. And just based on the studies, which shows that 76% of college graduates are working in jobs that are not related to their degrees. That is really telling, but that still is not enough to shift the general mindset of us as parents wanting to say, okay, go to college, because we're still in that era where we did it, that's how it always works, so we think that it must go that way. And I think I bash college too, because we don't see the results coming from these colleges, and we don't see these colleges adopting at least as fast as they should to what's happening in our changing environment, in our business environment. And look at Jeff Bezos, who left work one day and decided he's not going back, he's going to sell books, and fast forward somewhere in between, a decade later, is doing 100 million a day in sales, and online sales is going through the roof. We find that Kindle books, electronic books have outsold hard copy books by maybe 2 times since 2014, between 2014 and 2016, and it's just more shifting to online. And you find bigger establishment and more are adopting. The older guys are making apps for their companies, and they're adopting, they're closing them some of their stores, and they have an online platforms where they're selling from. You see a Walmart who paid millions, I think it's billions of dollars for an online sales platform. They have their platform, they're selling stuff. You look at what has happened to an eBay and many other places where people are creating wealth online. We see Toys R Us going out of business. We see so many, the countless people going out of business because of the shift in technology. Now, if so much of the work world, the economic, the business environment has shifted, then we have to now show our kids that shift. There's nothing wrong with business. There's nothing wrong with the shift. It's just the awareness and our willingness to adapt. I think it was Charles Darwin who said that it's not the most intelligent of the species nor the strongest of the species who will survive, but the ones most adaptable to change. So what we want to encourage the kids is to be aware. Let them understand what is going on out there. Let them understand and be logical about it. You know, we should shed the emotions from our advice. Like what we did and how we did it is not necessarily going to work. It is a different day. It is not working anymore. And we should tell them, even if we can't show them, we should direct them to what is happening and let them do the research. They're more attuned to it. Let them see and understand what is happening. So just telling them that even if they go to college for a medicine or they go to college for engineers, there are engineers and medical professionals online who are doing that same old medical and engineered stuff online and creating more income than the people who have brick and mortars. Yes, there's a place for brick and mortar, but I'm just telling you, let them understand that this is where it's going. And if you're to be competitive, if you're to stay relevant, if you are to do something great, you have to move with how the whole thing, with the setting or with the trends of the time. You can't pull opposite and think you're going to win. You know, you can't decide that I'm not going to advertise on social media because my company only used to put up billboards. You will fail. People will knock you off your rockers. People will have you for lunch because that's where the attention is. I hear retailers complain. I think some studies come out to show that what we used to set up as checkout candies and what we used to sell at the front, sales are down significantly because people are not standing in lines and looking around and being bored and picking up sweets. They're in their phones. When we used to find people spending a lot of money on ads when there are breaks in like a Super Bowl game and stuff like that, that's going to shift because when this phone, when the game breaks, everybody pick up their phone. That's where the attention is. Attention equal money. Attention equal business. That's why Pepsi, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and all these big brands used to interrupt you. They used to buy TV slots, and you see the same thing happening on YouTube when you're watching your favorite video. Bam, the ad comes in front of you and they interrupt you and they get your attention and they get your attention and they get your attention until they cement something in your subconscious to build their brand loyalty or you build your loyalty to their brand. You have to understand what is going on. I want you to. So the best advice is to tell the kids to be aware of what's going on. I was talking to my brother-in-law the other day and he's saying that one of the most important things and one of the things holding back many people is that they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. They don't know how things work. You have to know how things work. You have to see what's going on out there. You have guys online, I keep saying this, that this guy have, for the last 4 years, he has this, I think it was like 37 videos of woodworking and he's clocking up somewhere over 30 million in sales from these things. Just guys teaching how to do woodwork, doing that stuff and putting furniture together. Look, it has changed. Maybe your child don't want to go to college, but understand that there are skill sets that a child can learn that can put him way ahead of the humdrum life that punching a clock is going to put him. And even if he's going to punch a clock, let him understand that that won't build you wealth. You must get that revenue and use it to pursue something else that can build real wealth and create an impact in the world and come to something. Don't be locked into that scholastic education at this degree type of deal. Education is the key. But what type of education? Not necessarily education that we're overloading these courses with. You find people going to school to do computer studies, and because they want to charge that fee, they fluff that course up so much with so much unnecessary information that the people never use all in their lives. But they got to fluff it up to stretch the time and to make it look like, hey, this is worth the value. So that's why you hear people saying it's a scam, because you find people doing medicine. My wife is telling me about these people who are in the healthcare field who are doing this nursing degrees, RN degree, and not RN qualification. You get your state board qualified, regular RN, you get your license by doing 6 months of 2 days in class every 3 weeks. So we're talking about they're just compressing it into maybe 76 hours or something, and they just bam, and they give you the only information you need, and they charge $16,000 and you're done. You go to a college, they're going to charge you $30,000 every year for 3 years. So understand that the child needs skill sets, and once they get skill sets, there are a couple of transferable skills that you need to succeed in most other areas. No matter what you do, you need to be able to communicate, you need to be able to sell, you need to be able to lead people, you need to be able to work as a team. These are transferable skills. If the child is literate and numerate, that they get the base from high school, and they have a good command of numbers and language, and they learn to communicate and they learn to sell, then the child can go out there to be whatever they want to be. A lot of times we're pushing the child to go to be whatever we want the child to be, or whatever they say they want to be, not for so much to find a medicine or a cure to do something, but to get a paycheck or to live a lifestyle. Well, they can live that lifestyle without doing that specific thing. And if you're after the lifestyle, then there are many things that probably is their passion that can get them to the lifestyle. So we're saying then, tell the kids to be aware, to look, to understand what's going on, to be adaptable, to look and to apply themselves according to the shifts that are happening in this economy, in this modern world, the technological age, and adopt accordingly. They don't have to pay that $70,000 tuition, because if they fall in the 76% of all college graduates, they're not going to be working in an area that the degree is related to. And even when they go out there to college, then in their 4th, 5th year of medical school, some company is going to send them 6 credit cards, and some company is going to send them a car the minute they graduate, and they're going to get them trapped in this mountain of debt and this cycle of poverty, that they work to eat and they work to pay the bills. And that's not what you want to happen to them. So what you really need them to know is how things work, and all the things that are out there, and how the system is set up to keep you at a certain level, or not exactly to keep you at a level, but how the system is set up to enrich some people, or some people have set the system so that their money can come in. I'm not saying anything is wrong with it. Nobody's holding a gun to your ears, but I want them to understand that it's a lot of psychology that's going into it, and their primal brains are being triggered, and they have shapes, sounds, atmosphere, ambiances that are encouraging them to spend, and that is duping them into believing that they're inadequate, so they have to buy more stuff to be adequate. And that is what is at stake out there, and they must take control of their own future and think and analyze for themselves, and not buy into that little flash of light and life and everything else that everybody else is doing. Try to understand for themselves and focus on building wealth and understanding how these things are done. And the greatest point I'll make right now, and the most important thing, is that this information is everywhere. It is free. It is out there. They can find it. They can find someone who they can model. They can find mentors. They can read the information in books. They can listen it in audiobooks. They can watch it on YouTube. It's on Facebook, everywhere. The principles of success never change, no matter what hack, trick, methods, but the principles are still out there. They can apply those principles, and they can find the strategies and tricks and hacks that can make them scale faster. So that's what I have to tell the children. I have to tell you to tell the kids. So, hey, erase all that old thinking and understand what's happening now, and plug into that, and you will find your success. All the best. Have a good one.